There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Monday coffee time. I'm framed. Am I framed? I am framed. Good morning, everybody. Let me get this a little bit better. Got nervous for a minute because I didn't see any comments. I missed you on Friday. It's been a long, great weekend. I have so many things to show you and to share. But let's see who's here. I hope you had a great weekend. I want to hear all about your weekend too because I am realizing that with the weather getting better like it is, people are traveling and doing things and getting out again. All last year, we were kind of just stuck. Things are turning and changing a little bit. So I want to hear about what you did this weekend too. Put it into the thread so I can catch up with you later and hear what you did. So it's not all me, 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 me. Let's see. Heather, happy Monday. You're 10 minutes early. I hope I see you this week. I feel like I haven't seen you forever. Penny, good morning. You're early too. I found some really good stuff. I hope you all saw. I know not everybody's on Facebook, and I don't have a great means of showing you things other than through Facebook. But maybe I should put stuff on my blog on the Ribbon Candy Hooking website. I should probably do that, right? Boy, yo, yoing, a brain wave just popped. I should probably do that. I can put things into the Ribbon Candy Hooking blog page when I find great stuff for the people who are not on Facebook because I don't obviously buy everything that I find. That would be like obscene. But, I like to post things. And then when people say, oh, I live in Vermont or I live in New Hampshire, what store was that? It's like, it's kind of nice because there's the possibility of somebody else going to get something nice or the possibility these days of calling and saying, do you ship? So I always try to show you the things that I'm finding because I buy like 1/100th of the things that I find. I mean, I know it seems like I find a lot of stuff, but I find a lot of stuff and I can't possibly have everything, right? Or can I? But I don't. I leave a lot of it out there. So Penny, good morning. Susan, oh Susan, you're on. What's the status of the kitchen fund? Is it all done? Is all the construction and everything done? Susan has been posting the most beautiful patterns on the Facebook page, Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club. Absolutely beautiful, Susan. You are like an endless font of ideas and beautiful technique. And I saw you were doing monk's cloth now too, monk's cloth and linen. So that's great to have those patterns out there for people to check out. If you go onto the Facebook page, Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club, by the way, we're at almost 4,000 people at this point. I think that is amazing, right? But if you go on that page, there's like a search magnifying glass, all Sherlock Holmes up on the top, and you can put Susan's name in it. So you would do Susan Barnard, Barnard. And it'll pull up all her posts because she posts beautiful patterns on that page all the time. Penny, Martha, happy coffee time from sunny Ontario. The sun is back. There was at least one sketchy day in between seeing each other, but the sun is back, and it's good. It is so cold in Connecticut. It is like it's the kind of cold that it hurts to breathe. Like you just suck the air in to get your oxygen to survive, and it like hurts your lungs. It's that kind of cold all of a sudden. See. Last week I was going on and on about how beautiful it was and how we were on the threshold of spring. And Murphy heard me and he said, "I have a joke for you. Murphy's Law. I'm gonna send you some more intense winter." I hope it wasn't me that caused that, but it is beautiful and sunny, but super cold. Mom, there you are. I just sent you a message. I sent you a Facebook message. I had booked my mom and I the last day of March and the first day of April Fool's Day so that we could be a couple of fools at a hotel in New Jersey that we've never been to Cape May before. But I just moved it back, Mom, so check the dates because it was, I think, a little bit too soon with getting shots and everything. If we wait a little bit longer, we're going to be even feeling better about being out there, I think. So, and Sheila, good morning from Benton City. Oh, I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I want to see what you all got up to too. Lori, good morning in Texas. Good to see you. Good to see you. Linda, good morning in New Jersey. How are you? I see the little sun shining. Robin, I got to get some stuff out to you today. Good morning. It's good to see you. I'm looking forward to our class. Somebody else joined this weekend while I was away, so I was happy to see that. It's going to be a fun time, the beginners class. That's posted all over the place. If you're a beginner and you want to do some primitive hooking or hooking like in the historic style with a lot of open background and color changes, that kind of a class is coming up later this month. Janice, good to see you in Minnesota. Happy Monday. Catherine, hello in Idaho. Good to see you. Oh, I like the sea. Oh, that's a Linda. That's a cool thing with the sea, the waves going, and the happy face. It looks like a sun. That is so neat. Donna, good morning. Good to see you too. Oh, thanks, Mom. It was a great time. I will walk you through it. It really was a great time. Cindy, hello in Northern Illinois. Great to see you. Happy Monday. Linda H. in Massachusetts. Happy Monday. Great to see you. Well, what I did was to, Janice says, what I did was to rush the season, trying to put heavy winter coats away. Classic, right? And missed two stairs. Fractured your ankle, of course, in my right foot. Oh, Janice, that's an awful story for so many reasons, right? You were putting the winter clothes away, winter's back, and in doing it, you're trying to get ahead of the season and do the right thing. You hurt yourself. I'm super sorry to hear that. I hope that there's not going to be a long recovery on that. I am so sorry. Isn't it awful when those things happen? It's like a terrible punchline when who wants to get hurt while you're doing housework? You know, of all the ways you can get hurt. Um, People go skydiving, people drive race cars, you know, they don't get hurt, and then you're moving coats around and you get hurt. Life seems so unfair sometimes, doesn't it? Well, I wish you a speedy recovery, and I hope it's a blip on the radar of an otherwise really happy and healthy spring. That's a super bummer. Oh, Robin found some wool coats at the Goodwill. Wash them. That is so great. Ready to cut them up. That is exactly what I'm doing right now. Nani, one of our new members, ordered the Battle of the Nut. That was from Autumn, and also one of the sweater kits. So I've got all my sweaters out right now, and I'm trying to give her a nice background that's not too autumny. That's like a little bit of a mix. I want to pop those. It's the pattern Autumn Wind with butterflies on it. Heather, you just did that one. So I'm trying to pick out some nice sweaters for her so the colors really pop. But I'm doing the same thing. I'm cutting stuff up. Tad, good morning. Indoors again. I know, right? Oh, it has been brutal. It has just been terribly, terribly cold. I know, poor Janice, right? That is awful. That is not the kind of story I was hoping for. That is a sad one. But it is more hooking time. That's the way to make the lemonade, right? Jill, good morning. Good to see you. Good morning. I know we're getting real close to 4,000 on Facebook, which is just crazy. It's a huge number. I can't believe it. And you know what I love about the Facebook page right now is that, and I've said this before, but I can be away like I was this weekend, and I check from time to time because of phone service and because I'm just relaxing, and I can see that life goes on. People are posting all kinds of fun and colorful stuff, and other people are jumping on and saying, "Great job, keep going, love what you did," asking questions. And I just love it that it's a big enough group now that I really trust in my heart. Everybody that's on there is super kind and forthcoming and helpful. There's no trolling. I haven't been doing deleting of comments and stuff. There hasn't been like ugliness and nastiness. And it's such a good feeling at this point that there's so many members who are so busy on that page that it goes without me. It's a good feeling, you know. It really is. I love the way that's evolving. Amber, oh, Doreen, great to see you. I'm not going to skip over Doreen. Good morning. And Amber, good morning. Good to see you. Kira, good morning. I'm still doing good morning, so you are not late. It's great to see you. Anita, you are there. It is a lovely day. I guess it's nice up in Canada, too. It's good to see you, Anita. Oh, yep. Everybody's reacting to Janice having fractured, right? Your foot, that's a big one. Such a bummer, right? Oh, I feel bad telling you about my happy weekend when you hurt yourself so badly. But it'll be an inspiration for the future. It is a super helpful group, right, Kira? It's super helpful. It's like the tone of it is everybody is very nice. And when there's something that's like seems abrupt, I always see that the next comment goes like out of its way because everybody has a different style. I don't think anybody's rotten. But everybody has a different style, and sometimes when there's like an abrupt answer, it tends to be the one afterward you can trust is going to be something like extra positive, and you know, the yin and the yang and balancing out. It's a really good group. Martha, you're still staying home? Yeah, I don't blame you. You know, it has to make sense where you are with vaccination and how you feel about what's going on around you. The COVID numbers are up. Yeah, planting your veggie garden, that is really good. That is really good. It's so different from region to region, and at least in the U.S., we've gotten. The news said last night that there are now more people vaccinated than there are people who have had COVID. That does not change the 500,000 people who have died, obviously, but it's a the pendulum is swinging in the right direction, and we shouldn't rush it, of course. So now I went to a part of the country that is insanely remote, where there really aren't people. So it was a good place to go. I'm going to go get a COVID test probably tomorrow, too, Mom, so I can catch up with you just in case. But it was Vermont, and Vermont I think is from my touring days. I feel like it was maybe the fourth lowest population of U.S. states after like Wyoming, because Yellowstone Park is like such a huge part of Wyoming. Obviously Alaska, North Dakota, and then I think it's Vermont. But what a beautiful state. And I know some of you are from northern New England, and there's just such a different shift. I'm a southern New Englander, and although I was born abroad, I grew up in Rhode Island, and I love being near the ocean. It's just, that's in you. When it's in you, you just know when you're near it. Even if it's a couple miles away, you just know that it's there. You can, and as a Pisces too, you can feel it. So I love being near the ocean, and I love southern New England because I love the combo of small New England villages and real defined town centers and greens with the ocean, with small hills. That kind of combo is just, for me, perfect. But northern New England is a different story completely. Elaine, welcome. I'm glad to see you. Lori, I'm very happy you got your first vaccine. As soon as I get the chance, I'm going. I just can't wait. It'll be such a relief. But northern New England is so different. It's so rugged. It's so varied. You get a lot, at least in Vermont, it's the only New England state that doesn't have the ocean. So you get a lot of woods, very, very rugged landscape, ups, downs, very relaxed life, a real kind of, as someone who's not from Vermont, a real kind of combo of people who are very old school, overalls, kind of old-time Yankee, and then a lot of people who are like new-time hippies and super hip. You get a kind of 50-50 blend. It's a strange kind of dichotomy, but something different. No, I saw somebody just came on. Brenda, hello in Florida. You received your hooking tool. Fantastic. You are going to love learning. You get a lot of support. It's super fun. And just remember, when you pull that first loop up, you are already hooking. Everything you do after that is up to you. You already got it when that first loop comes up. You've got it. That's all there is. And then you just figure out high, low, colors, what else you want to do, what designs. It's just fun after that. It's a great hobby to get into. So midnight Hazel. Am I missing a letter? Midnight H Hazel? My eyes are so bad. Hazel. Midnight Hazel. Hello, hello. It's the ocean is something, isn't it? It really, for people that are water people or are used to living near the ocean, it really pulls you. To me, it's like if I had to choose between the ocean and the woods, I would always choose the ocean. But I went to Vermont, and that's not where the ocean is, but beautiful, beautiful land. And, the one thing I was a bit disappointed about was going to towns that I haven't been to in 10 or more years. A lot of like the yarn stores had closed. The yarn store in Woodstock on the main street had closed. Green Mountain wasn't open, but I knew that. So I wasn't like heartbroken about that. I understood that was happening. Walking the dog, freezing wind. Oh, you're good, Susan. It's a hard walking day. Is your class for beginners both days? No, it's for beginners both days. Both days, Kira, are for beginner. I mean, you're not a beginner, but different techniques, different approach, different ideas. So either day will work. I'm going to have to check and see who chose what day so that we don't have like one person on one day and everybody on the other day. But yeah, it's just a beginner's class, and I can go in any direction with that class. If people want more about shading, then we'll talk more about shading. I'll just field the questions and go in any direction for that class. I'm just live for that time. And the kit is beautiful, and we're certainly going to be working on an impromptu border together, just laying it out. And just the idea of hooking something that looks more like an antique rug or a primitive rug. That's right up your alley, Kira. It's going to be a fun class. Penobscot Bay. Oh, nice, Susan. That's Maine, right? Penobscot Bay. I love Maine, too. That's coming up. But what a trip. And, there's so many antiques in Vermont. And, of course, I was looking for rugs. And I wanted to show you as many things as I could find. So I put lots of photos on the Facebook page. One of the stores I went to, it was called the Flying Pig, and it was right over the Vermont, New Hampshire line. It was right over in New Hampshire, the Flying Pig. It was an all American folk art, very large antique store, but it was fine. It wasn't overpriced by any means, and they also run auctions, not by any means. But it was definitely on the higher side for me. I'm always looking for kind of a bargain, and unless it really kills me, I'm not particularly looking for like collectible ones at this point in my finances and my career. Maybe later I'll be looking for the really high-end collectible ones that proper collectors collect, but I'm not really there right now. But it's lovely to see them. So I posted a bunch from that store in the Facebook group, designs that were obviously not commercial designs, very irregular shaped rugs. One of them had a star in the middle, and the Oddfellows chain. You know, we did this once on Trivia Night, the fraternity. That's like the Masons or the Knights of Columbus. Beautiful rug. I found a beautiful Pradi rug too, and I posted all those pictures for you to see. But then there were other shops that were like multi-dealer that were much more affordable. And one of them was in Quichee. And if you know Vermont, it's in the big, where the Quichee Gorge is, which is one of the great sights of all time. Very, very deep, beautiful scenic gorge that if it didn't have snow on the ground would have been great for hiking right now. But they have like a big Cabot cheese where you can taste stuff, not so much now, you have to just buy it. And they have winery represented in beer and everything. And this giant antique center, 3 floors. It's the kind of antique center that would take literally all day. I mean, you get there when they open and you leave when they're closed. Intense amount of booths and lots of rug hooking stuff, and way more affordable. So as soon as I walked in the door there, I found a stall that had like all quilting and folk art books. I know a lot of you are quilters. I took a lot of quilting books because I have a ton, but there were a lot I hadn't seen that I thought were great inspiration books for me for rug hooking and designing. Because you know, it's like so many, everybody gets their inspiration from different places. Susan, I wonder where you get your inspiration from, because your stuff, you do a lot of scenic stuff with lighthouses and outdoor vistas and stuff, so maybe the world around you. A lot of people get their inspiration at museums and things. I like to get my inspiration like looking at books on the couch with my snacks. So I tend to like be a book hoarder, but lots of beautiful, beautiful books. And I found a rug there for $25. So don't be sad, but I left a ton of rugs at that store in Quichee, the one right next to Cabot Cheese. I left a ton, but I could not leave this one because I have a real soft spot for hooked rugs that have like a tweed background, just something other than solid. I have a special soft spot for those. Hey Sharon, good to see you. So for $25, come on, I had to get this one. I'll back it up a bit. You see how they ran out of the black up there? It's just, you know, it's a commercial pattern. It's nothing amazing. We're not going to get stomach cramps over it. But, you know, the colors I thought were fantastic. I'll bring it a little bit closer, but you can see that whole, let me fold it. I want to be careful I don't hurt it. You can see in the background, it's a lot of black and white. And you see the black and purple, too, toward the bottom? They were doing kind of Tracy's with something that also looked like maybe a herringbone or a check, but more black and purple. And the colors are good. It didn't sit in the light because the colors on the back are pretty similar to what we're seeing on the front. Just a little bit faded, but not crazy. So obviously for $20, that was a no-brainer. I absolutely loved it. Susan says, I take loads of photographs and use them for my ideas. That's perfect, because then you have nobody can say anything about copyright when you're working off your own photograph composition. That is so good. So I also found this little cutie. This is such a small thing, but for $10 I could not pass on it. I'm going to put it, it's just a little, you know, we've talked about this pattern so many times. Is it jigsaw? Is it broken glass? What is it? This I think is Heritage, the Rhode Island company. I think this is their jigsaw. I don't think this is the Cushing's broken glass. They're so similar. But yeah, I love the tweed background too, Martha, right? That was just neat. Now, obviously, this has a real pronounced hole right here, but I'm probably going to put it on a table with like a little pot or something in it with my hooks. But the thing that I could not bear to leave about this rug was this. I mean, this is a really big difference from pretty much had it to holy mackerel. Like, where did they get these colors? They're brighter than they look. So this gave me the idea, just for a palette, for me, for $10 to come up with an idea to have something cute like this, and for it to give me an immediate idea, it immediately gave me some ideas for like a series when we get closer to autumn, using these kinds of colors. And doing that kind of sort of stained glass um, uh, border, the shading around each one is the outlining. That's what I'm trying to get at. But for this, I just wanted the color scheme. I didn't want to forget about that palette because it just hit me in exactly the right way. So for $10, obviously that was easy peasy. Now, my favorite thing when I'm traveling around is not to like acquire something. It's great to get a rug for a good price and you feel happy and you're going to hang it up. But my favorite thing to get are ideas things, like get books that I know I will sit with for hours and get more ideas, or get supplies that will feed into a finished thing. For me, gathering things that mean more hours of playing and planning and fun, to me that's better than anything. I'd rather have that than a finished rug. So I went into in Woodstock, Vermont, which is just a gorgeous little town, beautiful little main street. I was very sad, if you remember trivia night the other week. I talked about Bentley, who was like sort of autistic guy at the very early 20th century, who everybody thought was very sort of odd and different, but he ended up photographing snowflakes, which he called, do you remember, snow flowers or snow crystals, on black velvet, thousands of them. And then nobody needed to photograph snowflakes for another 100 years because his were so definitive. And he was the person that proved that snowflakes were each unique and special. And there was a beautiful old restaurant on the corner of the main street in Woodstock named Bentley's for him. And everything inside was from that period, the very early 20th century, very heavy old furniture, layers of carpets on the floor, snowflakes. And now it's a very lovely place, but it has a ski theme. It's very hip, and there's like hip music playing, and it's kind of like stab in the heart when something like that goes away. So if you remember back to that episode and you're thinking, I have it on my list to go to Bentley's, it's not there. But the town is still beautiful. The yarn store closed. That was heartbreaking. But I went into a shop to get a gift for my daughter Jocelyn. Thought I'd get her a little flannel shirt with a matching bow for her hair. Do you know they even sell flannel thongs? I'm not kidding. I guess anything flannel, but all different flannels and very high quality, Vermont Flannel Company. I went in there and they had 3 of these bags. That's all they had, and I'm sorry, I bought them all. Giant 5-pound bag of flannel for $5. 5 pounds for $5. They had 3. So I bought, for $15, I brought 15 pounds worth of flannel. And it's hard to tell, but it's, I think what they did is their flannel, cut them for clothing, and then I think probably the long cuts, they sell them as squares, maybe for quilting, like to do your own quilting. And then the pieces that were even smaller than that, they put in these bags. So yeah, I mean, how am I gonna walk away from, you can't tell how colorful it is on here, but there's like pinks and lime greens and stuff in these bags. So I bought all 3 bags. So I thought, who knows? I have not hooked with flannel before. Maybe you have. But I thought, for that money, I've got a lot. If it works, I'll put some kits together and I'll offer as many as I can. If it works real well hooking with flannel. I thought something different. Why not, right? Right? Well, Susan, you can always look on their website or call them because they do sell the squares. So that's even better for quilting, I think. But the scraps are going to be great for hooking. So yeah, good find, right? How could I pass that up? It was faded. They have a beautiful country store right there too. And then I found this thing. I found this in Brattleboro while we were headed up. Brattleboro is like the most southern town after Massachusetts. I found this beautiful. I know you're going to hate me because it's not damaged at all, but there's no way I would ever fit in this unless I, went back 25 years in time with my time machine. But it's a beautiful dress with lots of cobalt and purples. It's 100% silk, and it has a lot of body, right? It's heavily, heavily pleated. There's a lot of material here. So I got this dress at that shop because you know how I've been kind of dying to try hooking with different materials, specifically hooking with silks, dupioni, raw silks. So this is a little bit thinner, but for this much material, it was like $14 or something. Yeah, we're all fabric junkies, right? But I thought, don't you see like Matisse in this, like a beautiful night sky with abstracts or something? I mean, who knows? But it seemed like it's this fabric just called out, and I thought, let's give it a shot. Let's see how far we get with that. So that was a great find. And you know what else I found at that store? This is just a weird one. I found all these lining materials, right? They're like new old stock. This one's like a cognac color. This one is a black. And this one is a crazy purple. You see, it's already kind of doing its thing. It's like fermenting in its own whatever, and it's doing crazy colors. Oh, Liz, you came on. I relaxed in the evening. I slept extra in the evenings because I can't relax when the stores are open. And I also can't eat when the stores are open. So I have to do a diner thing that's like criminal, like insane amount of food, like instant digestive problems, like instant. But that's the only way that I can tide over until 5 p.m. when they lock the door on the stores, and then I can relax and have a drink, think about resting and stuff. But when I'm on vacation like that and I have such a limited time, I just cannot rest when the stores are open because I'm thinking, oh, somebody's in there getting the last rug. They are not going to be satisfied with buying Hummels. They are going to be over near my rugs and they're going to get all of them, and I'm going to miss out, and I'm going to have to cry myself to sleep. So I'm not sure if relaxing is the right word, but I was so happy to find these. These are the only 3 linings they had, because you know what I'm going to do with these. Of course, this is a crazy amount of yardage. This is 3 yards of just this one. I'm gonna dye with them. I'm gonna put them into the dye bath and use the dye that's on them to figure out what colors we actually have here. Because this, these could make green, blue. You just don't know. You don't know until they're in the dye bath. I'm gonna try to dye some wool with these linings. We did that with those necktie kits. I'm still selling the necktie kits. We did with that. What was it? We did the special class last month, and we used linings to do some dyeing. So they came in the pack that month. But whenever you find these old linings, particularly yardage, not taken out of a skirt that's been washed or anything, these are filled with dye. This is going to be chemical dye, right? So be careful with your dyeing. You're going to leach the color from these, and certainly garment dyes are different than food dyes. So don't treat it like it's food coloring or Kool-Aid or something like that. These are still going to be chemical dyes. There's going to be a lot of dye coming out of these colors in something this age that's never been washed. So I thought, huge question mark. Sounds like you shopping, does it? I know, Mom, I'm the worst. I'm a rug junkie. 99% of the time I don't buy, but I just have to know that it's not there, the one of my life, the one of my heart, the one of my dreams. I have to be sure it's not there. I'm like a dog that has to check the perimeter of everything around me. And then once I sniffed it all out, I can relax a little bit. I can relax. But I am just like a dog. And then I found this great scarf. Now look at this. Somebody accidentally put this challis scarf through the washing machine. So it's a little bit felted, but that's perfect. So I'm going to cut this whole thing up. You know what I'm going to do is I've got it folded in half. I'm going to fold it into quarters. I'm going to come up with a background design that's about this big, because it's going to hook about a quarter of what it is, and use it as a hit or miss background. It's 100% wool. Maybe I'll use the red for the border, right? That's like super, super nice cherry red. But my God, this was like $2, and somebody thought they really screwed up by putting it through the wash. But if they hadn't, I don't know that I would have picked it up, because now it's ready to go for me. Now, before I end this episode, I found this too. I'm going to finish this one. I can't list this. I thought this was so cute. Eloquence. This is a pattern by Harry Fraser of Manchester, Connecticut, an oldie called Eloquence. And it's just a simple thing on burlap. But, I liked the colors. It looks like it's Waldoboro, but it's not. It's pretty flat. But again, lots of tweedy colors that were used. Real pretty. And if you're interested, the store that I got this one was called, it's not coming to me, but it's one of the 2 stores on the main street in Chester, Vermont. They had a bunch of rug hooking patterns that were partially done, and they were having a 40% off sale because the store is closing in September. So if you're interested in that, get over there. There's a few more patterns that are partially done. They're a little bit on the price. They're definitely more expensive even on sale than I'm selling partially done ones, but they're different ones. So you might enjoy having those if you're local. I also found this book, which I need to review one day, because I love Happy DiFranza. This is a book called Hooking Fine Gifts. There's 16 projects in here. Rooster brick cover, initial pillow. Let's look at this later in the week, because, I love her and I love her patterns. This one is on eBay right now, if you're interested. This one is on eBay with the sheep. That's there right now, and there's one copy of it. So If you're loving the look of those sheep, I would get it. It doesn't come up often. Um, and I found a bunch of rug hooking magazines. I'm never even going to finish this, but I'll show you one more thing, and then I'm going to break, and we'll carry on tomorrow with the thing behind me that I want to show you. Now, this is the mother lode, right? For those of you that are interested, you know I love to have all the sort of history of rug hooking documented, and I did have the entire set of Pearl McGowan newsletters from like the 50s, 60s, right? And I sold them a while ago to buy supplies to keep things going. So I really regretted that, because even though I looked at them and they were mostly about shading and things that I have a sort of a limited interest in personally, I was so sorry that I had let them go. Wouldn't you know, in this store in Chester, all of them. So these are, I'm not going to take these out, but it's like, I don't know if it goes by, this is probably a couple years. That's one of the years. That one was loose, and then two more binders. When you see things like this, it has nothing to do with rug hooking. But, you know, I looked, oh, $25 rug hooking binder, and I open it, and it's, you know, more Pearl McGowan newsletters and stuff like this. Rug making supplies for hooked and braided rugs. Harry Fraser Company. This pattern called whatever Susie Hooker by Janet Fraser. Little pamphlets like this that are just gone with the wind, right? Stuck in this little book with all of their designs. It's just photocopied or mimeographed with a staple in the middle. But again, for my own peace of mind, just looking at a very small book like this, it tells you all the dye colors, little patterns drawn like this. I'm able to identify things sometimes that I'm curious about or I can't find. Little books like this are going to be saviors for somebody like me and probably like you, who love to document things and have everything, you know, all stitched up. Another binder. So essentially it was 3 binders worth of these Pearl McGowan newsletters. It's upside, no, some of it's upside down. Ruggers Round Table, it's upside down. But I'm going to go through these again now that I have them again. I think this is the absolute complete. I think it's more than I had before, actually. So you can imagine how crazy I went. Heart palpitations, stomach cramps when I found this stuff, because this is like all Pearl McGowan's own words. And you know, I was just flipping through it, and she puts in little thoughts, you know, from her daily life. I was intrigued much with Temple Rug, hooked by so and so. I liked the border, and she tells what she likes about it. And it's just little thoughts that flit through her mind that she types and she would put out in these newsletters. Most of these are 1960s. So I will go through those as I get time, and I will pull out the great nuggets for you of things that I think were really interesting or things that I can relate to existing rugs I can show or patterns. You have the newsletters. You love looking at them. I'm so glad. It's fun to find them. That was you, Elaine. You have those. It's so, you know, it's a good find. It's a good find. I was really pleased to get those again, because like I said, I had them and I thought I'm not really using them. I was looking at like new books, and you know, and I felt like I had my fill. And then my heart was broken because I felt like I should own them just to have them as part of an important collection. So I'm very happy to have them back. You just never know what you're going to find, do you? So I also found, like I said, this behind me. So I want to start with that tomorrow because there's a bigger story there, and that'll be how we start our day tomorrow. And then let's look at the Happy DiFranza book. I also need to call Liz Marino about the Rug Money book, so we can maybe meet in person and do a show about that and tie up that subject. But I have so many things to tell you. That was pretty much it about the weekend. I'll conclude with that, and I'm getting some orders out. If I think of anything great or interesting, I will let you know. But yeah, we'll do some commentary tomorrow, and then we'll Zoom on Wednesday, and we are back to normal, except that this coming Friday is bingo night. So I will start in the next 48 hours getting those cards ready so that you can, if you're new to us, so that you can play bingo if you want to. It's always $3 a card. There's going to be 12 different cards. I liked it last time how only one card won, because I feel like it was a much bigger payout for the people who won. Just a bit more exciting to play with a larger amount of money. So ticket prices will be the same, $3 a card. So I'll get going on that. And the theme on Friday is going to be Brenda's idea. Thank you, Brenda. You know, sometimes we talk about what special day of the year it is. Like my birthday was on Rare Disease Day, not one I will pick. But everybody, you know, every day there's like multiple special days. and that will be the theme. Like choosing a date on the calendar and then choosing a rug. There isn't one probably for rare disease. There's probably one for the C word, but I'm not going to say that because it'll kill the video. But we're going to do that. Look at rugs that are special days like National Swan Day, and it's a swan rug, something like that. But that will be our theme. All the funny national days and international days of the year, and then relating a rug to it. So that will be on Friday. So I have not forgotten about that. That is coming, but right now I am just working like a dog on orders. The swatch set sold so well that I am doing more dyeing for the swatch set. So if you bought the swatch set starting on Friday, it's going to be a couple of days because I need to dye a second batch of those. It sold so well, I didn't want to do the original plan and say, too late, sorry. I thought, I want to get them out to everybody who wants those swatch sets with the mystery pattern that comes with it. And on April 1st, there will be another swatch set coming out. So I will keep those in stock because they're selling really well. And if you're having fun with them, there's no reason for me to pull the plug on that. So have a great day, everybody. Very happy to be back and see you, and we will reconnoiter tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, for another episode of Coffee Time, a bit more informational. This was just catch up, a bit more informational tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow, and I will stay on for a minute so that the video catches up. Have a great day.